Good morning and happy spring day. I wish you a blessings-filled September. Welcome back to All Things Moons and Stars. The big deal in the sky today is that Saturn is retrograding in Pisces. Saturn is all about structure, authority, discipline, very masculine. He's also known as the planet of time. He is in Pisces. Pisces is the sign, it is a water sign. Pisces is very mutable, it's got no boundaries. It's also very, very sensitive and highly intuitive. So we've got these two opposite type of energies where Saturn is very structural and needs time, and he wants to process things in a very disciplined way. And Pisces is saying, I just want to have all these feelings. The problem is that when Saturn moves into Pisces, it becomes very difficult for us to actually express how we feel. And he is actually the kind of planet where anything that he touches in our birth chart is a very long and painful process. It is what it is with Saturn. Cold, very hard planet, and always gives us rewards much later. With Saturn in Pisces, he is squaring Uranus in Gemini. And in the mythological aspect of astrology, Uranus, father sky, Saturn, father time, are at conflict with each other. So it's a very masculine energy. Both are very masculine planets. There is this conflict. There is this push for us to start revolutionizing our ideas, our emotions, the way we describe everything in our life when it's about our emotions, because he's in Pisces. The Gemini Uranus is very airy. It's lots of thinking and lots of ideas and lots of talking, but it can also be very fickle. So we need to be more innovative. We need to revolutionize the way that we are discussing, expressing, talking. This is now Pisces house. So we're looking at Saturn in your Pisces house. If you know where your Pisces house is, that's where you need to become the authority. Saturn is saying, I want you to become the authority in this area of your life. And you'll feel it because it's going back to where he was a few months ago. So I think as far back as May or a bit earlier. Now, when Saturn, masculine father time, and Uranus, masculine father sky, there is this aggressive conflict. And there's also this huge opportunity to actually now become our own healers. And in doing that, we heal on the cosmic consciousness plane. So there's a bit of a power struggle. The square between Saturn in Pisces and Uranus in Gemini is a power struggle, but it's demanding from us to find a different way of communicating and expressing our emotions, our ideas, and our thoughts. They both want to enforce their own law. Saturn and Uranus are both wanting to enforce their own law. And so we need to apply what we know. Everything about what we learn, whether it's numerology, astrology, spiritual, anything that we learn on those levels, we must apply. We must use it in our life. You can't avoid being a human being on this planet. Stuff's going to happen all the time. It's what we do and how we use what we know in our lives that makes everything so much more simpler. So let's break it down some more. We're going to look at where our lovely Mercury sun, so the sun is in Mercury, and he's also squaring the moon in Sagittarius. So we're being pushed out of our comfort zones. There is this definite restlessness with what we want versus what we need. We've got the moon in Sagittarius, which is sextiling Pallas Athene. And Pallas Athene is always going to sweet talk. She's going to look at our emotions, and she's going to fight for what we want, and she's going to do this in a way that we probably are going to land up getting it. So it's about the sweet talking when it comes to the moon and our emotions in Sagittarius, with Pallas being in Aquarius. She's saying, let's do this in a nice, sweet way. We've got Mercury in Leo, which is trining our lovely Chiron in Aries. So anything where there's been a mix-up in business, a mix-up with clients, a business in your work environment, wherever there's been like animosity or a few unexpected surprises, this is going to give us the motivation to put things right. It's going to motivate us to risk and move forward. Any part of life, whether it's love, romance, work, money matters. With this Mercury in Leo trining Chiron in Aries, it's motivating us indeed to find ways to heal the wounds, because Chiron, of course, is the wound. So is the wound emotional? Is the wound physical? Is the wound in our finances, how we see our finances? We are being encouraged to take a risk. Mars is still in Libra, and he's opposing Ceres in Aries. Ceres is retrograding in Aries. So we're being pulled in two opposite directions. There's this, when Ceres is retrograding, there's this broken self-esteem. And Mars wants to put in action everything that has to do with our one-on-one relationships. So now it's time to become aware of what it is. Where is it that we feel unnurtured? Where is it that we can become more aware of the greatest growth that is potentially going to take place in our relationships? Is it our relationships with money? Is it our relationships, one-on-one relationships? It all depends, of course, where your Libra and your Aries house is. Mercury in Leo squares our Vesta in Virgo. So something in our logic, in our thinking, in our ego is pushing us to feel inspired. There's a lot of resistance when there's a square. So again, it's about how do we think out of the box? How do we change the things that inspire us? Maybe things that inspired us in the past don't inspire us anymore, and that's where we need to look. Jupiter in Cancer is still squaring Ceres in Aries, so we've got to pioneer a new way. We've got these over-exaggerated feelings, and perhaps it's time for us to feel appreciated, or even better, where are we being pushed to appreciate more of our lives? Is it money? Is it in our romance? Is it in where we feel we want to be nurtured? And remember, Jupiter is also about faith. So appreciating what we haven't appreciated before. Where is our faith? Where can we change up and trust more? And then, of course, the Sun in Virgo is in a very hard aspect to Pallas Athene in Aquarius. Pallas is also retrograde. So this could be health issues. This could be, things that are making us feel very uncomfortable in terms of how our ego wants to be out in the forefront. There's surprises that have been coming up for us, especially when it comes to health issues. So now we need to look at how we're going to manage ourselves, our bodies, our vital life force energy, which is our ego as well. And we need to do it in a more kind, compassionate way. So a lot's going on in the sky today. Remember, our eclipses are on the Virgo Pisces cusp. And the key words are chaos versus order. There is perfection versus wholeness. And there's also this criticism versus compassion. Those are the themes that we are looking forward to, especially in this week as we head towards the culmination of our first eclipse, which is the lunar eclipse on the 7th of September, and it's in Pisces at 15 degrees. Thank you for watching. My next video upload is going to be, 3 winners are going to be announced today. I look forward to announcing that very soon. Have a wonderful day, and I will speak to you soon. Bye for now.